Eligity PT was born in a small, dusty village far away from the bright lights of the city. From the very beginning, his life was simple and full of hardships. His family was poor, his parents worked hard but barely earned enough to put food on the table. As a boy, Eligity often watched other children his age wearing nice clothes and playing with toys he had never seen. School was a distant dream because his family could barely afford the fees. Yet, even in those tough times, Eligity had a spark inside him, a restless curiosity and a hunger for a better life. Every day, he helped his parents with work, carrying water, tending to the animals, and doing chores around their small home. But inside, he dreamed of something greater. He wanted to escape the cycle of poverty, not just for himself, but for his family. When he turned 18, Eligity moved to the nearby town hoping to find a job. He worked as a laborer, earning very little money. He tried many things but none paid well. Sometimes, he thought about giving up, but his desire to change his life kept him going. One day, while working in the market, Eligity overheard a conversation about people making money online. He was intrigued but didn't know how it worked. Still, it was the first time he considered the internet as a way out of poverty. That night, under the dim light of a kerosene lamp, Eligity decided to try. Even though he had no computer, no money for internet access, and very little knowledge, he was determined to learn. He borrowed a smartphone from a friend and started watching free videos on how to make money online. It wasn't easy. The first few weeks were frustrating. Sometimes, the videos were too complicated, sometimes he couldn't understand the words, and often he felt hopeless. But every time he felt like quitting, he reminded himself why he started. Eligity spent every free moment learning online. Using the borrowed smartphone, he watched countless videos, read articles, and joined online forums where people discussed ways to earn money through the internet. Though his slow connection and small screen made it difficult, his determination was stronger than any obstacle. He started with simple things, learning about freelancing websites like Fiverr and Upwork, understanding what digital marketing was, and how social media could help businesses grow. At first, it felt like a foreign language, so many terms and concepts he had never heard before. But he wrote down every new word, every idea, and tried to practice as much as possible. The first big challenge was building skills without any formal education. Eligity didn't have a laptop or access to a computer. He had to rely solely on the smartphone, which made typing, designing, and even browsing slow and frustrating. Still, he found ways to adapt. One night, Eligity came across a video tutorial on how to create simple logos for businesses. He realized many small companies online needed logos but couldn't afford expensive designers. This was his chance. Using free apps on his phone, he practiced designing logos, copying examples at first, then trying to create his own styles. He posted his work on social media groups, offering to design logos at very low prices. Slowly, he began to get his first few clients. These small jobs paid very little, sometimes just a few dollars, but for Eligity, every penny was a victory. Each completed order boosted his confidence and gave him a sense of achievement. Encouraged, he expanded his skills. He learned about content writing, creating social media posts, and managing small ad campaigns. He took on multiple freelance jobs simultaneously, sometimes working late into the night after his day labor work. His schedule was grueling, but Eligity saw every effort as an investment in his future. He knew that mastering these skills could open doors that had been closed to him his entire life. After a few months of freelancing, Eligity started to notice the limits of this work. While it brought some money, the income was irregular and barely enough to cover his daily needs. The competition was fierce, and many clients wanted work done faster and cheaper. Sometimes, clients didn't pay on time or cancelled projects last minute. Eligity's frustration grew. Was this truly the path to changing his life? Still, quitting was not an option. Every setback became a lesson. One evening, as he sat scrolling through his phone, Eligity remembered the handmade crafts his village was famous for. He had seen how these beautiful items were sold cheaply in local markets, but never reached outside buyers who might pay more. What if I sell these crafts online? He thought. The idea excited him, but he had no experience running a store or marketing products. He began researching how to create an online store. Through more videos and articles, he learned about platforms like Shopify and Etsy. He discovered that with the right photos and descriptions, even small sellers could attract global customers. Eligeti reached out to local artisans, explaining his plan. At first, many were skeptical, they had never sold outside the village. But Eligeti's passion convinced a few to trust him. He borrowed a small camera to take pictures of the crafts, wrote detailed descriptions, and created social media pages to promote them. He also offered free shipping on first orders to attract buyers. The first few weeks were slow. Orders trickled in, but Eligeti was patient. Each order was a victory, each positive review a motivation to improve. As word spread on social media, demand grew. People loved the unique designs and the story behind each product. Soon, Eligeti's online store became known as the place to buy authentic, handmade crafts. With the profits, Eligeti reinvested in better packaging, faster shipping, and even hired 2 helpers from his village to assist with orders. As the months passed, Eligeti's online craft business flourished beyond his wildest dreams. Social media buzz brought new customers every day. People were captivated by the story of the humble village artisans and the passion behind each handmade item. Eligeti kept improving every part of the business. He learned to create targeted ads on Facebook and Instagram, reaching buyers who loved unique, handcrafted goods. He negotiated better deals with shipping companies to speed up deliveries and reduce costs. With every sale, Eligeti reinvested his earnings. He expanded his product range to include more items, from woven baskets to embroidered fabrics. His team grew from just 2 helpers to a small but efficient group managing production, packaging, and customer service. 6 months after launching the online store, Eligeti's income soared. The business was no longer just a side hustle, it was a full-fledged company making millions in revenue. Yet, Eligeti remained humble. He remembered his roots and used part of his profits to improve his village, building a small community center, providing internet access to children, and training other young people in digital skills. His story caught the attention of local media, inspiring others to believe that with determination and smart use of technology, poverty could be overcome. Eligeti PT was no longer just a poor villager dreaming of a better life. He was a symbol of hope, proof that anyone, regardless of their background, could change their destiny through hard work, learning, and courage. Even though Eligeti's business was booming, his journey was far from over. Success brought new challenges that tested not only his skills but also his mindset and character. One major hurdle came when demand grew faster than his small team could handle. Orders piled up, and delays began to frustrate customers. Negative reviews started to appear, something Eligeti had never experienced before. For a moment, he felt overwhelmed. The fear of failure crept in. He realized that managing a business was more than just sales, it required planning, leadership, and tough decisions. Eligeti knew he couldn't do everything alone. So, he sought advice from online mentors and business communities, learning about inventory management, customer service, and hiring processes. Hiring the right people was difficult. Some workers didn't share his passion or work ethic. Others were unreliable. But Eligeti stayed patient and persistent, gradually building a loyal and motivated team. Another challenge was dealing with counterfeit products. Soon, competitors tried to copy his craft designs and sell them cheaply. This threatened the unique value of his brand. Eligeti responded by registering trademarks, improving quality control, and telling authentic stories about the artisans to build customer loyalty. Throughout these struggles, Eligeti's mindset became his strongest asset. He learned to see failures as lessons and setbacks as opportunities to improve. Meditation and journaling helped him stay focused and calm amid pressure. Financial management also became critical. With rising profits came taxes, investments, and planning for sustainable growth. Eligeti hired an accountant and educated himself about business finances, making sure his company remained healthy. Despite the obstacles, Eligeti never lost sight of why he started, to create a better life not only for himself but for his entire community. He continued to invest in local education, sponsoring scholarships and digital training programs. His story inspired thousands online, many of whom reached out for guidance. Eligeti started hosting free webinars, sharing his knowledge and encouraging others to take control of their futures. As Eligeti's business grew, so did his role, not just as a businessman, but as a leader. He realized that to keep expanding, he needed to inspire and empower others around him. He began holding weekly team meetings, encouraging open communication and shared ideas. Eligeti made sure everyone understood the bigger picture. The mission wasn't just to sell crafts, but to uplift the entire community. He invested in training programs for his staff, teaching them not only technical skills but also values like integrity, customer care, and teamwork. Eligeti believed that a motivated team would bring the best results. Word about the company's ethical business practices and community focus spread. Customers felt connected to the brand because it was more than just a store, it was a story of hope and human connection. Eligeti also started mentoring young entrepreneurs beyond his village. He partnered with local schools and community centers to provide workshops on digital skills and entrepreneurship. One of his proudest moments was seeing a young woman from his village start her own online business after attending his training sessions. It reminded him that real success isn't just about money, it's about creating opportunities for others. Eligeti began thinking about the future. He dreamed of turning his company into a social enterprise that could provide sustainable jobs and promote cultural heritage worldwide. The journey from poverty had shaped him into a visionary leader.